Hey, welcome back to the garage, everyone. All right, this weekend we got a real treat for you. We're going to start tearing into a 4.5 liter M117 Mercedes-Benz V8. All right, we're back. Your favorite guest has once again blessed us with his presence. Dr. Eyeball is here for the weekend's festivities, which include tearing into the valve train on our M117. So we're all set up out here, out in front of the shop. We've got to polish this turd. It's bad. I'm telling you, it's got to go. We are finally going to clean up this old 4.5. We've got everything buttoned down, although I do think, if you don't mind, grab the 13/16 and let's tighten up those spark plugs so we don't want to get any water down in the cylinders. I did clean up the transmission a little bit during the previous video. Don't mind that, I got a little thing going on. I wrench too much. But we got everything buttoned up here, you know, with a little bit of tape, keep water out of the engine. I don't want water in my motor. I forget the metric size, but I think the 13/16 works. Just snug them up a little bit, and we'll get those tightened up, and then we'll fire up the pressure washer, and we'll see if we can't make this thing a little less grimy so we can tear into it without any difficulty. So we'll be right back. Oh, you know what? I was going to spray super clean on it. I forgot about that. We've got to have a little bit of degreaser.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get nasty.
Yeah.
We are going to get nasty.
Yeah.
Just warning. All right, there you have it. She's a lot cleaner. We won't get so nasty when we're working on it now. Man, I tell you what, that is way, you can actually see the block now. I thought it was really bad rusty, but no, not really, it was just dirty. Didn't wash off the USA on the back of my heads, right there. See there, it says USA. Isn't that cool? What we're gonna do is we're gonna dry the engine off now that I just thought about that 5 seconds ago. And yeah, then we'll pull it back in the shop and we'll start the disassembly process. All right, we've got her back in the shop here. Got the AC going. Spoiled, you know, we're spoiled, and I don't mind admitting that. So anyway, the motor and transmission are really, really clean now, or at least they are way better than they were. Our main task right now is to remove the transmission and put it on that little roll-around trolley right there. And got the engine nestled on some tires to protect everything. So that's pretty much what we got going on right now. So we're going to get this transmission off, put it on that, and then after that we're going to tear the top end off our M117. What I need is some ratcheting metrics.
Yeah.
I don't have any. How long is that bolt? There's a nut on the other side.
Yes, there it is.
You've got to be kidding me. I did not even realize that.
I didn't do that.
You're going the wrong way.
Trying to break it loose.
Uh-huh.
Will it work, is it? You know, the funny thing is I started going the correct way and went, no, that's the wrong way.
And this socket is not the right size for the rest of all of them. They're different. There's some different ones.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is. R, whatever. What a fiasco. I don't know who the crackhead is that came up with this. This is what I've run into on this car so far. It's just one obscure, nonsensical design criteria right after another. Kind of like working on a Chevrolet.
Yeah, basically.
I'm just now realizing that I didn't pressure wash the bottom of the transmission.
That's all right.
Dr. Eyeball has configured an astonishing way to actually use an open-end wrench for its intended purpose. I am utterly shocked and eternally grateful. Let's get the trolley underneath the transmission next, I think.
All right.
All right, we're going to back up and punt here. We're doing what we should have done to start with. Forgot to take the bolt loose between the flex plate and the torque converter, don't you know? Dr. Eyeball took all the plugs out of the motor because we got to turn it over. I went and grabbed the crankshaft bolt out of the baggie, and we're going to go look in the window down below here. Anyway, we got to disconnect the flex plate from the torque converter, and kind of hard to film. We're not going to film all that mess, but that's what we're going to do, and so we can get this transmission disconnected from the engine. So we'll be back here shortly. All right, we're turning the motor. We found the bolts on the flex plate, blah, blah, blah. You get it. We're going to get the Ooga Dooga out. All right, there's one. I wonder how many it is. Probably just three, like a Chevy.
So that's the first one I saw.
Three like a Chevy. This is practically a Chevrolet.
Practically. Oh, wait, hang on, there's another one.
Was there, did I go past it?
No, that's another one.
Oh, okay. So my microphone battery died, and I'm on engine turning duty, and there's basically 6 bolts on the flex plate. There's 2 close to one another in 3 different spots because the flex plate is in a triangular shape. All right, we've got all the bolts out of it, and Dr. Eyeball, do the thing, man. There we go. Easy peasy, nice and easy. All we had to do was rotate the motor, take out the 6 bolts from the flex plate that was bolted to the the torque converter in the flex plate. Actually, did us no good whatsoever. I just now realized that the torque converter is still on the flex plate, and we did that for no reason whatsoever. And now I'm wondering if we should put them back on.
No, I think we need to drain the torque converter.
We need to drain the torque. See, clearly we don't know what we're doing. Is that a rubber?
That's a 5 millimeter.
5 millimeter? Oh, that's what the Australian guy said in the video, right? All right, so let's do that. We're going to turn the motor over, take the 5 millimeter plug out, drain the torque converter, and we'll slide the torque converter and the flex plate off of the engine. So we'll be back shortly. All right. Got the 5 millimeter pulled out, and the fluid is clearly draining. It's almost done. I'm actually at a loss as to why the torque converter and the flex plate are still on the engine. I'm assuming they're sitting on the back of the crankshaft. I'm not sure what that's all about, because I've never taken one of these engine apart before, and I guess we're just gonna yank on it and see if it comes off.
Beat it with a hammer.
Beat it with a hammer? Yeah, that might work. Let's do that. All right, that was pretty silly. The torque converter and the flex plate were just hanging on the engine by a wing and a prayer. I guess it was just rust holding it on there. Pretty standard fare there. You got a mounting bracket and a bunch of bolts there on the back of the crankshaft. Got the torque converter sitting over there on the workbench, so no big deal. All right, it's time to get this motor on an engine stand. Motor on an engine stand, or is it engine on an engine stand, or is it motor on a motor stand? Hell, I don't know. I have a lot of experience with the flex plates on these engines. At least, what, you say about 45 minutes worth?
At least.
Yeah. And if you take a look at the torque converter, the ring gear is actually held onto it by these little... Not yet. You have to wait. This is why it takes twice as long.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so the ring gear is simply held onto the torque converter with these 5 millimeter Allens. And anyway, so what we've got to do now is go ahead and get the flex plate off, and we're going to get this engine on an engine stand. thank you thing. Them rascals are on there. Let me tell you what. I think that's the proper way to do it. Is that not the proper way to do it? Well, clearly a Mercedes flex plate is in 2 pieces, don't you know? I knew that all along. I just wanted to see if you were watching. So, yeah. Just freaking give me a... this thing is going to kill me. I don't know anything about this. There we go. Now we can get to the seal. Now we can get to it. All right, so we're trying to figure out how to put the engine stand on this thing because we have no clue. And I'm thinking that this adapter needs to come off next. I believe that's probably right. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got 4 big bolts. Knock yourself out. No, you want to do it? Or I'll do it.
Maybe we can drop this one in the oil too.
Let's try to drop it in the oil. Ow! I hit my finger.
That's not moving.
Yeah, my side's moving.
Oh, is it?
I'm using wood though. There we go. Like a pro. Like we just did it for the first time in our life ever. Okay, we got the engine mount thing set up. Kind of in a way that will work, I think. Maybe not. Let's see. We're gonna have to, this is gonna have to lift up, I think.
Yeah, I can do that.
Hold your mouth just right now. Okay, we got them all started now?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, about another inch or so. I think that'd be fine. All right, okay. There we go. So all we gotta do now is make sure, hold up 1 second.
All right.
Gotta make sure this is, there we go, like that.
All right, there it come down.
Yep. Easy. That was pretty easy.
Easier than usual.
Okay, yeah, yeah. We have an M117 on a cheap-ass Chinese engine stand. That's pretty cool. All right, pull her back.
Pull back, pull back.
Come on back. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah, sit, why don't you just jump on top of it? All right, folks, we got this thing on an engine stand finally. Give us a few minutes. We're going to get set up with some tools and stuff. We're going to start tearing this motor down right now. Was that dramatic enough? I think it was. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Let's go ahead and get the 13s and take the water pump off first. We'll get that out of the way. Found the horn what?
horn bag.
What'd you call me?
Horn bag.
One water pump removed. I'm gonna need to put some more boards on my bench. This is the relaxing fun part now.
Yeah.
We don't even have to do this now. We could just go drink beer now. I need more metric wrenches. We may have to put the heater on that. I thought about buying one of those induction things. I'm guessing that's a 12, 11 or 12. Gently. We'll tighten it. Yep, that one's fine. That one's fine. We have an engine stand now. We have to be careful with this because this thing will go, you know, like that. So, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's go back the other way. Where was it coming out?
Here.
Okay. That's as good as it's gonna get. Now all I gotta do is find my wrench. Yeah. Let's take that off. That's annoying. It's in the way. All right, after we do that, we're going to take a moment and clean the floor, I think. That didn't sound good. Want another extension?
Yes.
You want? I got an extension with a wobble tip on the end.
Yeah.
Need some metric ratcheting wrenches. I may, before the day is out, I may go get some.
Okay. So I can take that shield off. Oh, 2 bolts.
I guess if we took the shield off, we could get a wrench in there. Let's do that. Let's take that shield off and get that last bolt out. What do you think? Did you just say that? Hey, you know what? You should take that shield off so we can get those bolts out.
That's not the right time.
It's probably a 10.
Oh, it's like a 10.
But by the time the doctor finds a 10,
Yeah.
I'll have this bolt out.
You will.
One microscopic quarter of a turn every 13 seconds. All right. Now we should be able to get a wrench on there, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. One exhaust manifold removed. All right, new day, we're back at it. Yeah, we're gonna start taking the intake off of here, and well, we're just gonna wing it. This pipe work, which is, that's how crusty the pipe work is. Do what? I was just gonna start taking screws out.
All right.
Probably just have to cut this line. Probably don't even know why I should bother taking those screws out. Just cut the line. It's no good anyway. I hate doing that though, just because, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So let's just do that. This would go a lot faster, Harris, if you just get practical. All right. I'm just going to leave that attached. I'm not going to worry with it. I'm going to cut this one just to be practical. These screws are coming out pretty good. Of course, I soaked them down yesterday. Now James says gentle. No, he says careful. That's what it is. My friend from work. Okay, he walk by your desk and go, careful. And you won't be doing anything. You know who I'm talking about. You know it's you. You'll be sitting there pondering lunch and he'll walk up and go, careful. I'm like, what?
Don't choke on your lunch.
It's hilarious. What are we doing here? What are you doing?
Pull these out of the
Here you go.
injectors.
Hey, you want to use that to take your screws out? Just take.
Already got.
So the injectors are probably trash. Man, you're good at that. I should come. Yeah, let's mark that driver's side. Yeah. We'll pull that up.
No, that one just came right out.
Yeah, I don't think it came out. I think it came apart.
I think it did. Can't get it from this angle. There we go. Oh yeah, look at those windings.
I don't think that's normal.
Yeah, that thing just came.
That doesn't look normal. That doesn't instill me with confidence, but I kind of knew
Yeah,
that kind of thing would be happening.
I would say maybe order some injectors.
Yeah, I guess let's get the injectors off next. We're going to take some intake manifold bolts off first to get, might as well just take this off.
Pop that out.
I guess these are just complete junk. The only thing they're good for now is part numbers, I reckon.
Yep.
I mean, they're supposed to just slide right out, right?
Correct.
That's mouse pee. They're held in with mouse pee is what it is. These two vacuum lines here went to a vacuum switch on this side of the engine. I talked about this in a previous video, but I just wanted to kind of put a little commentary behind it. The other one of them goes here to the throttle body, and the other one goes to the vacuum advance on the distributor. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and, of course it's run underneath it so I can't get it out. These plastic lines here are in pretty good shape. Only thing they're good for now, I put it in a bigger baggie. Only thing they're good for now is comparison and part number research. How you been doing that? You grab that thing underneath there like that?
Not much, but yeah, there it comes.
That thing is nasty. I wonder if the intake is trashed. No, that's the head, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. The hole looks fine. It's just, it was just corroded around it.
Wow. Clearly the heads are going to have to come off. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, even thinking about trying to crank this engine as like a will it run type thing would have been a farce. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull the intake now. We've got all the little bitty hoses and stuff like that off of it. And we want to make sure we are careful with the sensors. Not sure.
It's just a rubber piece.
Yeah. And there's one over here. It's a temperature head sensor of some sort. So that's I'm just being mindful of what's going on here. So.
Now, do these go all the way through?
I don't know. Let's give it a shot and see what happens here. Let's give her the juice. That doesn't go into the engine, that goes into the plenum down below.
So we can leave those?
We can leave, I think we can leave those, yeah.
Let's concentrate on this.
Is it the right size?
It broke.
Oh, it broke. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like I'll be drilling a bolt out of the head. Yeah, I broke a bolt off in the head of the Cadillac, one of the rear ones, and I had to drill it out and put a helicoil in it and all that stuff. This little whoop-de-doo on the end of this extension is really handy.
Yeah, I've got some of those too.
You know, remind me, I'm gonna have to get some of those metric ratcheting wrenches. I might just do that before the end of the day's out.
I feel like I've heard that before.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
All right, I want to show you guys what these injector holes look like. So yeah, thankfully we didn't do something as foolish as trying to crank this engine early on. It never would have worked.
You know what would be nice right here?
What?
One of those ratcheting.
We should go get some ratcheting wrenches.
Before the day's out.
Before the day is out. They got some up at O'Reilly.
Oh, let's go get some.
Let's take this off and let's go get some.
All right. Well, let's pick this up. There we go.
Awesome.
Oh, crap. All right, where do you want it?
Let's, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Hey, we can take that off now. How about that? And the intake gaskets are in fine shape, actually.
Perfect. Freaking perfect.
Nothing wrong with them. And take a look down in the ports there. At the valves, at the back side of the valves. And there's some rusty chatter debris down there that came off while we were farting around. But backside of those valves look fine to me. They look great. They look great.
They look new. Yeah, if it weren't for all the rat pee, this thing would be running.
Let's take this off. I suppose we ought to put the engine on top dead center. Now, you got marks here. You see this mark here? That little divot there? And you got that line right there. So if you got that line and they match here, that's top dead center, or it's 180 out, one or the other. Let's just watch it and see what happens next. Let's turn it over. Let's just watch the valves. So this is intake. All right. Let's just watch it and see what happens. So we're coming up on exhaust right now.
Okay.
All right? Yeah.
It's all opening.
Exhaust is opening.
Exhaust is closing.
Now we've blown the exhaust out. Now we're letting in the fuel. And now we should be coming around. Yep, we should be coming around to top dead center.
Yep.
It look good over there?
Yep.
And
These are parts too.
and this over here, there should be a piston, so that's top dead center. Yeah, I mean, surefire way is always to watch these clearly, you know. So, all right.
Now what?
We're going to take the tensioner off next.
Okay.
It's probably going to be spring loaded.
Yeah, probably. Of course, it's probably rusted too.
Or rusted to the block like nobody's business. Oh, there it goes. Good job. All right, we got to remove these crazy thing here. So you got to use a what size did you say this was?
M6 by 1.
M6 by 1. And what are you doing with that? Oh yeah. Which one do we want to do? The bottom? Anyway, got to put the bolt in there, and then I got a little slide hammer. Cheap Pittsburgh Harbor Freight thing here. And it's got that on it, right? You get it? So let's just see how well we do. I've never done this before. Bad start. Okay, so we got to remove the sliders next. And you either use a slide hammer on these little guys right here, or you can use like a puller method. And we're going to try that. It's an M6 bolt, and for the receiver cup, we'll just use a socket.
Bolt might be too long. Oh, hurt it break.
Did it pop loose? Either that or the head is cracked.
Yeah, or both.
So we're going to inspect it just to see if it worked. Yeah, it started to come out.
Yep.
Yep. Keep going.
This bolt might be too. Let me get some more washers.
Okay, you want to get more washers? All right, we're going to get more washers. We could try to use the slide hammer now. That might actually, now that you cracked it loose, the slide hammer might just pull it right on out.
Right.
Well, I didn't get to weld today. That's kind of sucks, but you know.
They're still young.
There we go.
Bitches.
And you cracked it loose and it come right out. Oh, did the bolt break?
You might get the weld after all.
Yeah, it's in there. Fire hole. The mere act of heating that bolt up may have, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It may have done it. So I don't know, we'll find out.
Yep.
What size is that, a 7/16 or?
Something.
Oh, this is my favorite wrench.
Oh, good.
I think we should go get some bolts. I'm kind of proud of that. Save the day. All right, so we broke off a standard grade bolt, and we went to the parts house and bought some grade 10.9 bolts, and that's what we're using now with a socket and some washers and what all. It's based on a vlog we saw on the Pelican Parts website about how to do this. So. All right, it's getting better.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And now the slider should just come right out. I was watching Pierre Hadari's or somebody's video, I forgot who it was.
Really?
And it said if they're black like this, that means, you know, they're not good anymore.
Really? They're black because of oil.
Yeah, you would think. Why does that have a wire there? Why is
I
that?
don't know.
That's interesting.
You know what? Because it blocks that thing in. It's like a spring
Ah,
wire slips in there and keeps it from wiggling out.
yeah. Put that in the bag.
Why they're so hard to get out.
Put that in the bag. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the driver's side cylinder head real quick. And so we can get this slide rail out and get the tension off the chain so we can get it out of there. So we'll be back here shortly. All right, we flipped the motor over. We're going to go ahead and start taking the oil pan off. Mostly because we really don't know what we're doing.
Your other ratchet will probably take these out, dude. If you don't want to do it that way.
But I was using my new tools. This is bare. This thing is a real weakling. This was not meant for automotive.
Can I take the oil filter housing off? It's in the way. All right, do that.
Oh, this is what I thought you were going to do.
I guess now.
Now it's not. Now it's not in the way. We finally went and bought some ratcheting wrenches. So, if only there was a surface where you could apply upward pressure on the sling blade oil pan.
Bolt right here.
Oh, there's a bolt.
Bolt.
That's on. That one's on me. It's my side.
Here's your ratchet.
Here you go. Put that in the bag for me.
Hey, funny how that just slid right off there, huh? Oh, sludgy, not too bad. Not bad for sitting for all them times. There's a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Came off one of those.
Probably came off of some kind of a plastic thing.
Oh, this right here. Ugh, stinky. Stinky.
It is stinky. It's a little sludgy, but I don't see any. I don't know. Who knows? What's that?
Why do you do that? My God.
I told you.
Yeah. Drink something cold.
Break time. All right, next thing we're going to do is take the oil pump off the motor because we think that's the right thing to do. Would you like some gloves?
Yeah.
You don't need no stinking gloves. That's an interesting thing there. Just rotate it out maybe. All right, so that should just disconnect from there. Oh, you're doing it correctly. It said to pivot the oil pump that way. And then that's the bottom slide rail. And then take off the oil pump. I'm going to put it in a baggie. There we go. Oil pump. Is it getting easier?
Yeah. Get lighter.
A little lighter?
A little lighter.
All right, let's take the front cover off. I don't know what they're for. We're going to find out. I forget. This goes to a line that goes over there to the ignition system. It was quite bizarre. All right, we got these two broken loose with the breaker bar. So that made quick business out of that. Careful. I suppose a normal person would take all the cam stuff off first. And I just don't want to dig into it right now.
That's fine.
And the main reason was I'm sticking with the outline in the video, which was replace the timing chain, because I'm a maniac.
Can we take the cams off? You don't even have to do anything. I can just pop them right off.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to take all that spring pressure off. I don't want to do that. I might change my mind here in a few minutes. I'm trying to find an advantage to it in my brain. This is a smart thing to do, is to take this off. Before you do this, you're supposed to take this. You're supposed to take the rocker arms out.
Yeah. Or just like to do everything else and loosen it up evenly.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take the camshafts off because I thought it was a really good idea. No, actually, yeah. Anyway,
it may be a sucky idea.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Something was turning.
Yeah, it's rounded off the bolt. That ain't happening. I'll have to weld something to that. All right. All right. So we got one casualty. Probably have to weld a nut to it. All right, we got all the bolts out of the head. It was a real pain in the ass. We rounded off one of the Allen hex screws here on the bearing assembly for the camshaft. We're going to take this whole assembly off, but we got one bolt that didn't want to play. And what we're going to do is just take the head off in its entirety, and then I'll put it on the workbench next week sometime and probably weld a nut to it and get it off that way. So anyway, so I think you're ready to pop the head off, right? You're probably going to need, get the big hammer and this piece of oak. Never mind, we didn't take all the bolts out. Yeah, we got that one last bolt out of the end right there. That was not exactly straightforward, but we got it. All right, so apparently these are head bolts. Granted, we know nothing about this, so this is not instructional. This is just us goofing off. That ain't coming out. Well, yeah, it is. You got to take the bolt. Never mind. You do it. Hold up now. Hold up now. You got something jamming on you.
It's just a stay right here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that was easy. Careful. That was the easiest hit. That was the easiest head removal I've ever seen. I'm 75 to 80% sure that we weren't supposed to do it like that. We were supposed to take the timing cover off. Seriously, the factory procedure for taking this cover off says you can do it without, and it says be careful not to disturb the head gasket.
Yeah.
Like, are you high?
Yeah, right here. Mm-hmm.
That's going to happen? You're going to be able to take this cover off and not disturb that head. You've got to take the head off. So these cylinders have a good crosshatch. They don't have a ridge.
No ridge at all.
No, they're fine. This engine is great. It's just nasty and it needs to be, refurbished. So let's take a look at the valves. From what I gather, if an exhaust valve has a white haze to it, supposedly that was supposed to have been a sign of a head gasket failure, but I'm not seeing that here. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. Everything looks fine. All right, we're going to see if we can't make life a little easier on ourselves and remove these oilers, which I assume just sort of pop up. There you go. It just takes a fair amount of force. That's all it takes. I'm taking these, I want to take these oiler tubes off because they get in the way of trying to get the head bolts out in my mind. There's probably a better way of doing this, but there we go. All right, now let's see how well we do here. Still can't get in there at a good angle. Not really. Those rascals are in there. Not sure what the torque setting is, but it's a bunch. Well, taking the oiler tubes off was a exercise in futility, apparently. Whatever you do, you need to make sure these Allen heads seat fully. Otherwise, you'll be, well, you'll be in a mess. All right, you've got another Allen down in there. You don't want to forget about it, so we're going to get that one next. I'm just going to put this oiler tube back down in here just to keep debris out of there, if for no other reason. We got to clean up these head bolts here, so give them a little dose of the juice here. We'll keep a couple of them screwed in there just a little bit while we get the head separated from the engine, because in my mind it'll just fly right off of there and break my ankle, so you know. There we go. Alright, well, let's scope it out here. We got some, that's just some flaky rust that fell down in the, or no, it's not really flaky rust, it's just a lot of debris. It fell down in there when we pulled that off of there. Good cross hatch, no ridge, same as the other side. Real nice. Not sure what I'm going to do with this bottom end. I may take some bearing caps off and see what the main bearings look like. And a little bit of coolant right there came out of the head. You want to get that out of there. You don't want that sitting down in there festering on that cylinder wall, because it's got a little bit of water in it and you'll get a little rust line down in there. So let me get a little air after that. Head gasket looks like it was sealing okay as far as I could tell. We'll give it a little bit of the 3M treatment here. All right, so this curvy slide rail is pivots right there, so we got to take that out. Do I need to take the cover off first? Probably do. I can't recall what this plug is for, but let's just take it off anyway. And there was a banjo bolt on this. It went to a line that went over there to the distributor or something weird. I don't know what it was. Maybe to oil the distributor, I don't know. Not the distributor, the coil. All right, let's see. We got, that's just a port right there. This should be ready to come off, unless these are long and need to come off. I don't know if they are or not. Are there any underneath? Yeah, there we go. I guess it's got some dowel pins on it or something. What do I know? Yeah, that chain is, are you going to be difficult? I guess the timing chain is still engaged in the wheel down there. The oil drive chain, I guess, is what's keeping it on there. You gotta get the oil drive chain up over its sprocket. There we go. The oil drive is integrated in with the timing cover through that right there. That's why you can't do jack, and you can't do jack with this unless you take everything apart. Not really. There's your oil drive chain tensioner right there. All right, well, we finally got the timing cover off. Pretty dark and miserable back there, but other than that, she's in good shape. This is our main tensioning rail from the tensioner itself. Now these early models, these are made out of aluminum, I guess that's aluminum. No, that's steel. That is a steel timing chain rail, and apparently coated in some kind of rubber, from what I gather, watching Pierre's stuff. And you can see that it's grooved due to timing chain wear. So I guess this will get a new lining. And here is, let's see, let's go ahead and get the timing chain out of there. What a fiasco this thing is. I've got to take that rail off right there. That timing chain will not slide out of there with that rail in there. Let's get that rail out of there real quick. There you go, double row timing chain. I'm assuming this is the original chain to the car. I'm assuming that a master link installed after the fact would mean this was a replacement chain, but I don't see one. That's a chain with 105,000 miles on it, and well, I suppose with these cars it's about due to be replaced actually, so I don't guess I'll need to put this in a bag. I know what it is, the bane of my existence. Alright, look at that curvy little rascal there. The little whoop-de-doo goes on the bottom. You guys remember that, okay? Because all of these are going to get swapped out. Apparently these ones on the inside are, I guess all of the original ones are metal. No, this one feels like, let's see. Let's see. No, that one's, I guess that one's aluminum, probably. Or brass. Heavily worn though. Holy cow, look at those grooves, man. That is heavily, man, there is a divot. If you don't know what divot means, it's a golf term. You see how on this end next to my pinky there's not any wear, but as apparently most of the wear is here. That's where the chain rides most heavily, I guess. I would say there's probably a 1/16, maybe, well, you know, in metric, probably about 2 millimeters. That is a deep groove. So we're doing the right thing. No, that just comes right out. How about that? I guess there's an oil hole right there for that surface that I just wiped nasty stuff on for the first time in 52 years. So, and we won't touch that. The crank there, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not sure about that right there. That doesn't get touched. Of course, all these seals here, there's seals, will get replaced. There's your dowel pins right there and right there to center your timing cover. And here is this is the distributor gear. So that's pretty cool. And I guess that just slides right out. I don't know that there's any need to change these sprockets. I think I was probably going to change the upper sprockets. This engine has been sitting in a barn since 1999, okay? I mean, you have to go through everything, right? I see a little bit of witness mark in the bottom of those sprockets there. A little bit of wear, but I don't know what's good and what's bad. So clearly a lot more research on my part is in order before I make any more decisions on what to do next. Yep. I guess you guys have been wondering when I was going to take that off of there. It's as good a time as any. Oh, okay, it didn't break that. It broke that part loose from the block. So interesting. I'm going to have to get a wrench on that. That'll be great. All right, so what the deal is with that pipe right there is really corroded up inside that flare nut. That's going to be a job. So I'll probably have to put some heat on it. And Dr. Eyeball wanted to remove the filter housing earlier, and I said no, foolishly. So I think probably the easiest thing to do would take the filter housing off. And yeah, we'll take that off, and then we can really get to that and remove that. So I'm not going to do that right now, though. All right, folks, there you have it. We got a timing cover off an M117 Mercedes V8. Finally, after several videos, getting the motor out of the car was a monumental undertaking. If you've never done it on an R107, I highly don't recommend it. Find someone that knows how. To be honest with you, I am worn completely out. This past weekend, we worked our butts off on this thing, and tonight I finally decided to get back out here and go ahead and get the other head off and get the timing cover removed so I could see what was going on. And I think for the next video we'll probably dive into the bottom end, maybe take a look at some of the main bearings and see if they're okay. I assume that they are going to be. I don't really think there's going to be anything to do to the bottom end. Other than maybe disassemble the oil pump and make sure it's okay. So yeah. Anyway, I got to make a list, check it twice, and figure out what the next steps are going to be. So, all right, folks, I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys have a good one, and remember to enjoy driving, maintaining, and restoring your classic R107.